Hello Patreons and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to be doing a very practical video, to be honest with you. It's basically just going to be a game against the Extreme AI, just a standard 1v1, but we're going to be talking about a few things. It's going to be, number one, how to actually fight with your army while managing your economy. All right. Number two, we're going to go ahead and review how to think of the Civ matchup, how to set up the map. You guys should know this if you guys are watching my Patreon videos. I've got videos specifically on this topic in depth. We're going to review that in the early game. And the main focus of the video is how to fight and how to take advantage of the unit stances and formations to have the best outcome from your early game army. And also, these tips will also apply to mid game army as well. Late game is a bit different because you don't care if you lose army in late game usually. Like stray units here and there, it doesn't matter. But in early and mid game, we can't be losing stray units. And we're going to be doing this on Extreme as a popular request from a few guys on Patreon. That makes a lot of sense because a lot of you guys are struggling to beat Extreme AI. So if I just show you guys examples on Extreme AI, it could really, kind of get you in that like relatability aspect. It can make it a bit more relatable for you all as well. So let's go ahead and hop right in. I'm going to random Civ so I can show you guys exactly how we break down our Civ and strategies compared to our map. So Burgundian Sicilians. And if you guys have known anything about, if you guys have watched my Patreon videos, you guys know anything about, just setting up your strategy, setting up your map. We know that our opening is based on two things. It's based on how good our map is or how our map is looking, and also the Civ matchup. Nothing else. It's based on just those two things. So we do a standard opening here. We are Burgundians, so we have to adapt our builder a little bit to our eco bonus here. So it's a nice review here. So for Burgundians, you want to delay your wood a little bit, just a tiny bit, so you get double bid axe as soon as your lumber camp is built. So what I usually like to do here is just go for the standard 6 on sheep, and then instead of going to boar right away, to wood right away, I just go ahead and take a boar. And I'm just scouting. Yeah, nice backwood. So I'm going to decide to take this one because it's right next to my gold. This one is also decent, but I probably don't need it. I could probably one lumber camp it up because this woodland is just absolutely brilliant. So what I'm doing at this builder is actually I have this one on Patreon. I'm not sure if I made the video for it yet, but this builder is very good. It's not just good for Burgundians. It's good as an anti-laming builder. It's a little bit advanced. You got to take your boar before you go to wood. And it could just be a little bit, harder to do. But to be honest with you, it's so nice because the boar comes back literally perfect timing after you've eaten 2 sheep. And the cool thing is now we go for our lumber camp and we have 2 sheep left over. We can actually scout with those if we want to find other things, which is really cool. I have that boar cooking. Again, a bit of an advanced builder because it's a bit different than other ones, but it is worth learning if you need like an anti-lane builder. So now we go 2 to wood like we always do. Next one can go on to boar again. All right, and the cool thing is here now, as soon as our lumber camp is built, we get double bid axe. This is a Burgundian specific bonus, so now we have double bid axe right away, and we have 0 downtime where we're not chopping a single tree extra before bid axe is done. Next we'll go ahead and get our second rhino, and I'm going to make my way around and lure some deer. At around 3 minutes, I've fully scouted my map. I'm going to focus on my last border, and then I'm going to decide my opening. So my opening strategy here will probably be just a simple scout rush against Sicilians that have a much better civilization, more economy. All they have to do is watch out for the fact that his scouts don't take as much damage from spears. And maybe you have to watch out for like some you putting all in, which the AI will not do, but maybe a real human will do. So I'm going to go scouts and look to pressure him early and see what he's going to do. If he's doing you-putting rush and he's fast cast of cheesing me, I'm going to do few scouts into market up and then go for monks to defend myself. And I should have a much better economy. If he's playing standard, then going scouts or archers or whatever, then I just play scouts, wall up my base, and play from there. That is my opening strategy. So now I realize I made a mistake. This build is actually on berries a little bit too early. I made a classic mistake here. I didn't adapt to the Burgundians. You needed to go either a bit later to berries or a third one on wood to actually make up for the fact that we're spending 50. But what I like to do here, by the way, is really just like adapt it, make another house. No big deal. And I'm really happy I made that mistake now because I get to show you guys it's not the end of the world. I don't want anyone thinking like, oh my god, I made a huge mistake. My builder is ruined. Forget about it. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. You should literally adapt and make an extra house. I don't want to walk all the way back, drop off the food, so just make an extra house. And boom, berries down, mill is there. And if I didn't tell you guys I made a mistake, you probably wouldn't even realize anyways. That's exactly how you want to fix things. Yeah, we'll get in our Deer luring. And again, all of this is just review, guys. This is a very practical video that I want to make. But I have some new content that I want to talk about later in regards to how to actually fight, how to raid, and just how to manage all of your army in the early game. This is it's a very important video. You'll see later as we get there. I debated starting from the mid game right away, but I think you guys would rather have the extra content and see just, you know, how I go about the early game. Let's loom, because 20 pop, no loom is super greedy, so let's just loom. Again, why am I going 20 pop instead of earlier? It's at Burgundian specific, because you spend 100 wood early. So I like the... sorry, you spend 100 food early, or almost 100 food, like 75 or something on the wood upgrade. So I like to just go up a little bit later and just get a better economy. You could also do 2 lumber camps, but this wood line is so thick that I'm going to do 1 lumber camp. And again, as we've talked about, we're going to go for the scout rush strategy. So we're going to go ahead and set that up. Barracks here. Why there? Because it just makes so much sense to wall right here. Look at that. Barracks on the front. Brilliant. Get in that deer. Also another like micro thing. 4 vills on deer is perfect. You eat the deer and then you go somewhere else. If you put 3, they eat the deer, then they go back to the deer, and then they drop off like 3 food each. It's a waste of time. It's idle time. Now we can go ahead and... so I want my stable to be here, as on the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some houses. A couple houses, a couple palisade walls. And that's where my stable goes. Alright? So I'm just doing that because I'm upping a little bit late. We want to play a little bit more defensive. And now, this is walled. So this would just be walled like this. No problem. Don't worry about that gold. We're going to secure it later. So we just, wall here, here. And then slowly wall this side in feudal age. And my map is literally perfect. So my whole opening here of scouts into setting up my wall against Sicilians is absolutely brilliant. Now, this is where it's new content now. Alright? All of this you guys should have already known, but it's a good review. Okay? Go for the stable. You go for the upgrades. Now, this is what I really enjoy. 1 spear, it's default. We always make 1 spear, regardless of the situation. If you do this, you can just have a good time. That spear can either go defensive or forward. If you want to go forward, it's good if you're going to be pressuring. But since the Burgundians have, generally speaking, a slower civ, so it's much better to go spear on defense. Afterwards, you want to use your 2 vills to wall up your map. This is, again, nothing new. Now, what do you have? You have the spear on aggressive formation, patrolling near your house vill. That's the most dangerous, okay? But the most risky. This guy's very risky out here. Meanwhile, we're going to be managing our economy. Take a look at this. We're going to be managing our economy. Alright, make sure we have like the 5 or 6 on berries. Make sure we're making farms right away. Perfect. We're going to be walling up the other side. And now with your scouts, you have another option. You can either attack or you can defend. In this case, because I'm about to be fully walled here, and in this case, I actually got a faster uptime against the AI than him, I can go attack. If you're ever dubious, then just defend. And it's also in the situation, if you go attack and your opponent's on scouts, you make a 2nd spear at home. Alright? If your opponent's not on scouts, you just stay with the 1 spear. He has 1 scout, so it always gets value. That's why the 1 spear always gets value. So now we go pressure our opponent, and this is how you raid. You always keep the reinforcements at home. Alright? This is, again, this is the new part of the video right here. This is the top tier rank 1 practical advice. Like, no BS. This works every single game. We're opening the AC. That's how real we're getting right now. We're going to go attack our opponent with these 3 scouts. I don't know what my opponent's doing. I don't know where he is. But nothing can go wrong. I have a Vill here that's very exposed, but I have a spear there. So he's not going to get picked off by a scout. This Vill is by himself, but there's other Vills nearby. And I have my reinforcements at home inside the stable. Why are they inside the stable? Number 1, my opponent doesn't know how much I have of them. Number 2, if my opponent sends a spear forward, I'm not going to have a scout out here that's just going to eat the spear. And number 3, if instead of sending them forward, like just putting the gallop forward, if I get counterattacked, my reinforcements will be ready to defend. This is a concept we will always use. Reinforcements inside our production building at home. I don't want reinforcements to be flooding forward unless you're late Castle Age flooding him. Alright? If you're in an early game and the game is even and you're not flooding him, you keep the reinforcements at home to give you that flexibility. Alright? So now I'm in a situation where I'm micromanaging my economy. I'm defending all parts of my base and walling it up, and I'm producing army and I have to attack. A lot of things at once. How do we do this? So the main thing, before we fight, pausing again, I don't care. I dictate the fights. Since I'm attacking, I can attack now or I can wait 2 minutes. Okay? 2 minutes, 10 seconds, whatever. It's not going to be 2 minutes. It's going to be like 10 seconds or like 15 seconds, okay? So I'm going to first make sure before I take a fight that number one, I'm in the right stance, which is always stand ground, box formation for fewer scouts, just to keep them tight together, and so they listen to you. If they're on aggressive, you put them here on aggressive, they just go fight by themselves. We don't want that. They're going to run into spears, run into town setters, run into doubt, 6'5", you hit him to him, you fall over. We don't want to be running into anything unknown, anything strange. Keep them on stand ground, you're in perfect control. It's peaceful. Breathe in, breathe out, stand ground. It's all chill, okay? So before I take a fight, I'm going to fix everything. This makes a farm. This makes a farm. If not, then you just go to the other side. If you can afford a farm, make a farm. Okay, now everything's spent. I'm going to look for a fight. So I'm going to focus on the fights. I'm going to look to take a bill. Okay, he's choking. He's choking. I look to take a fight. I'm going to queue up units. This you can do without leaving your screen if you use to select all the hotkeys. And I run back. As I run back, I'm not going to watch my scouts as they're running back. I'm going to go back and do things. Get this guy back. This guy's finished. This is walled, but you can check it. And then fix my entire economy. There. Make the scout. Send these guys forward since there's no threat at home anymore. My second attack is going to come. So before I go for the second attack, same thing. Now I'm going to do it without pausing. Spend resources. That guy can patrol here. This stays in this area. And my opponent is so stupid. He's done skirms like a dumbass. Like an absolute brain-dead AI monkey. There we go. You don't have to insult him, by the way. This is add-on for entertainment. And now you raid. There's nothing to do. Now I decide, do I want more scouts? I'm almost fully walled, so probably not. I see no threat. He's on skirmishers. And so now I'm going to make a transition to go to gold. All right. Now we make a gold transition. Now there's nothing to do at home. Everything's perfect at home, so I can focus. I can actually micro. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my god, the chat's going crazy. Holy. Hera is just absolutely smurfing it. In this case, you'd be whatever your name is. You'd be smurfing it. 2 bills. Now, I run away. I run far. If I run here, like let's say aggressive stance. This is how people play. Aggressive stance, I look away. This is what's gonna happen. I'm working this. I go back. I'm fighting a spear. I lost a scout. Run away. Stand ground. Run away. You're not looking. If you're not looking, you're running away from danger. You don't leave them near your opponent's base. This is so important. All right, blacksmith. Now, I'm gonna make a few bills. Nothing to do at home. Now let's fight. I'm full focus. I'm full focus. And you'll be surprised how good you guys can micro. You guys are all so good at microing. If you guys are focused, you're so good at microing. I've done the coaching. I've seen the rec reviews. Boom. In and out. Now, I'm not looking anymore. Run them away. All right. Shift Q this guy. Go here. Boom. Spear is no longer needed. I'll send him to the front. And now let's look again. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm not ready to fight. I'm going to run to the other side. I got berries. All right. I got berries is a bigger problem. So I'll do shift click them. Another lumber camp. I'll make 2 farms with them to fix that. There we go. Everything's fixed. Now let's look at the economy. One more villain I click up. So I'll just queue them up after those 2 I click up. And now let's fight. This guy, I don't need him at home. I'll send him forward. Spear is going to come forward. I'm making use of all of my military. I've accounted for everything. The build order is absolutely perfect. Everything is being spent at the same time because we focused on it. We don't just attack and then fix, the disaster later. And now we click up. That last fill here on wood, so peaceful. It's like the game plays itself. You know what I mean? The game literally plays itself. I could even split it up. And now we look. And now I'm up to castle. I have so much time. I don't want to fight the spear. Or maybe I do. See that? I make the decision. I'm looking. It's not random. Now we fight. We micro. Look how effective it is. The scouts, when you're microing, run away from that guy. This is why you do fancy micro. I've got nothing to do at home. Now I'm fancy microing, okay? This is why people think I'm good. I'm actually just not. I'm just looking. I just look at my shit more than you guys do. Anyone can do this. This is not a difficult micro, really. It looks like it's very fancy. The hard part about it is doing it while focusing on other things. So now, we're not doing anything. I'm going to run away, far. Put them on stand ground, excuse me. Now let's think of the follow-up. Screw it. I'm going to 3-stable Cavalier. I'm a brain-dead Burgundian player. I'm going to get my upgrades. Let's go. I'm going to go 3-stable Cavalier and get relics. It's not the best Burgundian strat, but I'm just going to commit to it. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to do the best strat. You just have to commit to it. And in the meantime, I'm getting upgrades. And now there's not much to do again. I already did the things at home, so now I can micro again. Alright. And look how insane the scout micro can be. Like, you can literally hit, run, hit. Spear's there. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Okay, run away. Perfect. And now, run far. Look back. Idle, fix. Delete these. Cavalier's ready. My scouts are not getting hit. Okay. Let me show you guys a scenario here. I'll make a mistake. Where I'm going to go get some value. Okay, I'm going to make some knights. I'm going to get some value, and I'm going to leave my scouts on attack ground and only run them back a little bit. So I'm going to get a value. I'm going to kill a vill here. I'm looking, and I'm just going to run them away a little bit. This is, I see this all the time. I run away a little bit on attack. Now, then they're on aggressive. So now I'm going to make this, make that. Oh, Cavalier. Get some farms. What happened to my scouts? You guys see? You guys see how random this is? And I lucked out. 2 of them were smart enough to go for the vill. Usually they go for the spear. And you're just losing units. And if I did this from the start of the game, I would lose the scouts in the same way that I always see players lose their stuff. So stand ground. Use these get a hotkey on stand ground and aggressive, guys. I use the 2 buttons on my mouse. Aggressive is the top one. Stand ground is the bottom one. They're linked together. But you can use any hotkey. It doesn't really matter. And so now the plan is Cavalier. Same concept as before. In Castle Age, I don't like to put it in here necessarily. If it's Archer, I do, but Knight can be outside. It's fine. But keep them defensively. Why? He has a bunch of spear scrim. If he attacks me, it's uncomfortable. So I'm going to attack with my main army. Same concept, by the way. Alright? There's just more to do. It's just harder. So, Monk here. All my Knights there. Same concept. Now I'm going to fight. You know what? I just make like 2 TCs. There's too much going on in the spears. I'm just going to run back. I'm going to fix my economy first. It was a bad time. My fault. My fault. Now I have some more time. I'm going to be running here. I have some time before I can go there. So I'm going to quickly go back. This is how pros play fast. Fix everything. I know I have a bit of time. And now I'm back. And now, okay, brilliant. Raid is looking hot. I'm going to patrol. Make sure that they're looking good. This is not like feudal age. You don't have to micro the units too much. Now we go back. And now we pick up a relic. And go back. But now I go back to my army. Okay? Because now I've left them for too long. Enemy armies here. I run them far. Alright? Far. You run very far. Go back. I really want to make emphasis on these concepts so you guys can... I got my scout picked off. Unfortunate, but I have my knight on defense. This is perfect. The knight on defense saved me another monk. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. Now I go back to my army. And I go back. And it's really just this repetition. I almost make the game feel boring, but it's really not about it like feeling boring or feeling repetitive. This is just a pattern that you recognize. And we act on that pattern to make the game more fun, because now we're going to be focusing... We're going to have more chance to play with our army. With this kind of pattern, you're actually able to look at your army. You're not just sending it in and being overwhelmed at home. So now there's more things going on. We're going to continue this for a few more minutes. You have your house built at the back. These are all the things that I always teach. The scouts can screw off now. Just find some relics. Alright. We didn't really all in Cavalier. We ended up adding economy because I suck. I can only win with 3TC defensive castle. Okay, this fight... You know what? I can actually win. I'm Cavalier. I can win. So I would just patrol. They're doing a good patrol. I don't have to watch it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to micro this. I know it takes about like 10 seconds for that fight to end. So let's just fix the, a few things. Get relic here. This guy can take relic here. And now I go back to them. And I pull back. You have a bit more leniency. See this? In Castle Age, there's more to do, but your units are tankier. So you have more leniency. Obviously, if you hear them getting converted, snap back right away. If your opponent's Mr. Yo, you already lost 3 monks. 3 knights. But if your opponent's a regular, player, snap back right away. Forget the economy. Pull the knights back, and then look at the economy. So if it's urgent, you look. If it's not urgent, you just take your time. Continue making some Cavalier. Maybe at this point I need another mining camp. Maybe I need a market. Cavalier. You have a little bit more leniency. You don't have to babysit your army as much, but you have more things to do at home. And so that's what you do. You just focus more at home, while you focus a bit less on your army, but you still want to be moving your army around. This is... No one else at the moment in Age of Empires teaches macro like this. Practical application of macro. And this is why I really like these Patreon videos. And I know you guys don't have that TikTok brain. Anything more than 5 minutes, you guys can't digest. I know you guys are paying attention, which is really good. Because it's a hard concept to understand. It takes practice. But as you can see, I'm just repeating the same concept. There's too much army. I'm trying to run back and focus on other things. Like getting upgrades. Like maybe, buying some of this. Getting some cav. And so this is where you can think about... This is how you don't get housed, by the way. I'm going to get housed now. This is going to be so funny. But this is how you don't get housed. Because you're going to be actively looking at your base. Okay, how do I put it? I'm separating the time where we're fighting compared to the time I get housed. Compared to the time where we're at home. Alright? I'm separating both of them. They're happening at the same time. But I'm separating both of them using these patterns of attacking, then running far away, and then fixing things, and then fixing things while a fight is going on. These are all tips you can use and tricks that you can use to actually do more things. This is how you play faster, hotkeys aside. And now you get upgrades. And so I talked about earlier, like when you're flooding your opponent. Okay, let's finish the flood here. So now, Castle Age, you're fully boomed. This is a different stage of the game now. Now, it doesn't really matter if you lose 1 or 2 units. We have a lot on the field. So in this case, and if you guys have watched my forward castle video, you guys know we should in fact be doing this here. In this case, we can actually just start flooding forward. Now you can send the gather point forward because we're very much in control of the game here. So now we can take a fight. I set it up. Conversion, I'm happy, perfect. I look away. I spam, I look away. Get some houses. Now we start playing a bit faster. There we go. Fight is domination. Gather point forward. Spend resources. There we go. Let's just start playing a little faster. There you go. Resources always spent. Perfect. This can go here. This can go here. Delete this house. Getting housed again. Now we flood. Because again, these units we don't care about. This is a different stage of the game. Now we're getting into mid-late game. Where our units, we have so much of them. So we can actually spread them out. We don't have to micro each individual one. In Fuel Age, we can't do this. We have like 3 units. We spread them out. We lose them all. We lose the game. You know what I mean? So this is only possible in this later stage. And now you spam. You have more, more res. You just start spamming. Your macro is not crazy, but it's fine. It's a different stage. Now we still... now I don't care how they're looking, how they're fighting. Because I know they're fighting in a very messy fashion. But I'm still doing the same things. While they're fighting, I'm just going to be macroing. I'm just not as meticulous with my army as I was earlier, because there's no need. The units are tankier, I've got more of them. And just being under my opponent's town center is good, by the way. This is the important factor. Like, being under my opponent's town center is good. So I don't have to necessarily worry about, like this is fine. I'm idling all of his units, so it's not like it's bad. So this is why you don't have to worry about each individual unit anymore, and you can really just spam. Alright? So this is going to a different segment here. We're going to late game. Alright, you still have an impact on macro. So again, here, 500 wood, I don't like it. The rule is 1,000 is danger zone, but 500 wood, I don't like it. Too much wood. Fixed it. Yeah, it completely fixed it. And there you go. A mere single scout was present to serve in the beginning. Exactly. Exactly what happened. And that's pretty much it. It's a practical explanation of how you can micromanage in Age of Empires 2. This is how you can multitask in this game. This is literally how you multitask. I'm not operating at a higher IQ level that I'm able to just do 10 things at once. It's just literally simple pattern recognition, simple patterns that we have, and that we just do them consistently. And it really is that easy, by the way. There's no other trick to it. There's no other trick to it. It really is that easy. Where's the hard part now? All right, I made Age of Empires 2 sound way too easy. We're going to have like 10 players hit rank 1 tomorrow on Patreon. Where's the hard part? The hard part is when your opponent is applying the same tricks. So in this game, AI applying 0 tricks. We are the guys dictating the whole thing. The hard part is, this is where it's really difficult now. This is why the game is not easy at all, despite this feeling easy, is that when our opponent is applying the same tricks, he's attacking our wood line. We're trying to attack him at the same time. That's when it gets extremely messy. However, at lower levels, as you start ranking up, if you're consuming this content on Patreon, your opponent will be playing with a lot less structure than you will be. And so he might win, he might get lucky, or he might, just outplay you, outmicro you, whatever. But as you get better as a player, if you're applying these principles, you're going to be playing consistently better, and you're going to be climbing the ladder because your games are looking very structured. If you lose, you know why. And if you make a mistake, you know what the mistake is. So next time, you leave your units on aggressive, and you look away, and they all die, and you look stupid in the game. You lost your 3-minute arms to the TC. Next time, you don't just say, oh, I made a huge mistake. I should have been looking. No, you shouldn't have been looking. You should have ran them a bit further away and put them on sand ground. This is the thing. The pro players are not just watching everything. Like, we also make mistakes because we're not looking at something. But we just put our army in the right place while we're looking away. And this saves so much headache. And this kind of understanding is really important because even if you're not playing yourself, even if you're just watching a pro play, all right, next you're watching my stream, right, and you see me scout microing, you can pay attention to my movements and you're going to see me applying these exact principles. It looks easy against AI now, and against a real human it's harder because they're doing the same things to you, but I'll still be applying these exact principles because under no circumstance do I want my scouts being outside of my control. On aggressive near spears, they run back in. I lose them. These are game-losing mistakes in the early game, in feudal age. If you can just completely cut that out, you're going to be a much better player. And the last thing I want to talk about here as well is that these will still apply in Castle Age onwards as well. Like in this case, while I'm raiding, I'm not looking at the raids. I'm fixing everything else. This is how you get this economy. You're just spending everything. If I'm watching my Cavalier, I can't possibly be spending my wood. So this is how I'm able to raid at the same time as do other things. And how everything is just seemingly perfectly managed. And this is because I tell my Cavalier to do something. I spread them out. Like I'm watching. I take the fight correctly. I spread them out. I do the conversions. I do what needs to be done. But then when they're on autopilot and they're doing their job, I look away. And then I spend 30 seconds at home. And then I look back to make sure they're not like autoing farms. Like they're sometimes stupid, you know. They're autoing farms. And then I give them new instructions. Okay. And that's basically the same concept on repeat over and over and over again. And this is probably one of the best things that you guys can learn to make use of your army in the early game. And again, I want to quickly highlight, last thing for the video, I want to quickly highlight that your spears at home, like from the start of the game, everything was accounted for. The spear patrolling in the exposed area, the scouts in the stable to defend. These are all things, if I don't do, I can't dream of hitting 3k. Currently, I'm not even dreaming about it right now. I'm like, not really getting it. But this consistent, like, 10-0, 10-1 on stream that I'm trying to get done is only possible if you play a style that everything's accounted for. And it's very similar to your goals as well. If you want to improve and get better, you have to win more than you lose. And the only way to win more than you lose is to play with consistent applications and consistent strategies that will work 9 times out of 10. For example, in the situation where I'm attacking in early game, in this game, because my opponent's not attacking me, it would be correct to send my next scout forward to reinforce faster into pressure. That would be correct this game. But in another game where the opponent counterattacks me with his 3 scouts, oh, I wish I had the 1 or 2 scouts at home to defend. And I lost 2 vills. And my opponent, he had the 2 spears perfectly defended. I got no damage. I lost 2 vills. And now there's 3 scouts in my base. And I have 4 or 5 scouts forward, but he's got 2 spears. And I have to run all the way back. I lost, 2 vills. They're running around my base. My spearman's in the wrong area. The game is lost. So this is why we account for everything. We play consistent and we win 9 times out of 10. And this is exactly how you climb. This is exactly how I'm trying to climb to 3k. The same thing's working for me. I'm sharing it to you guys. No filter on Patreon. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, these are all my secrets. I'm really not holding back. And I hope these are helpful for you. And I hope I'm able to support you guys as you guys are supporting me. Much love, guys. And just a quick reminder to those on the light cap tier, if you guys do want to ask questions and interact with me more, check out the Hussar tier. We have a private Discord with a lot of people, really tight-knit community here on Patreon. And I have a service where I offer, I answer any question 24 hours a day. All you have to do is tag me in that Discord, ask the question, and I help you guys out. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Much love, all the Patreons. Peace out, boys. Wait, quickly. Up times if you guys are interested. Peace.